said, he didn't even have no notes. I said, man, I'm probably gonna need notes on a teleprompter. I said, I don't think there's no way I can come over here and preach. And I don't even call what I'm saying preaching because I can't consider myself as a preacher. I call it speaking. But I seen the opportunity, and I just felt led. This could go on for a while. I felt led to give my testimony, and as I talk, you'll see more of what I'm talking about, because I'm sure there's people down here right now. It's like, what are we doing? What's he up here for? And but when I think I was about 13 years old, I felt like at the time I thought I was saved. We went to a revival of Pine Flat Baptist Church, and I remember the preacher, he said, I guess he had an altar call, let nobody come to the altar call, everybody had their heads bowed. He said, well, if anybody wants prayer, would they raise their hand? And so I said, well, hey, I can use prayer. Hey, I mean, I'm always wanting somebody to pray for me, so I raised my hand, brought it back down, and he said, everybody raise their hand, will y'all come up? And I just looked at him like, what? So I come up, and he prayed with me, and at the time, I felt like I was saved. I wasn't sure, I didn't know, but I said the prayer, and I said, I must be saved. As time went on, about 16 years old, when I was able to get out and start driving and everything, I got away from God. I got out of church, and for about 10 years, from 16 to 26, there was nothing about me that you would even thought I was saved. And that's why I look back on it sometimes. I even question at that time, was I saved? And me and Deborah got married in '94, April of '94, and all through those times when I was, before we got married and everything, I was drinking. I even did some drugs and everything, and a lot of people might not even know that, but had a terrible mouth, filthy. Didn't care about what anybody thought about me. I didn't care. And for some reason, Deborah married me. And we lived in a little small trailer up there beside Inglewood, Inglewood Elementary. And we lived up there for a couple of years, but while we was there, Deborah was working with some friends of hers, and they started inviting her to go to church. And she comes home and tells me, say, hey, so-and-so, they invited us to go to church and everything. I said, okay, that's good, we'll go to church, because I was brought up in church. I knew all about church. My granddad's a preacher, Stinson McCrae, which he's named after, he was a preacher, and a very good one. And so I knew all about church and everything. I said, oh yeah, we go to church. And I didn't want to get away from my partying, drinking lifestyle. So I can remember Sunday mornings, well, this particular Sunday morning, we'd already talked about the day before we were going to get up and go to church. When I woke up and looked at the clock, I didn't alarm it. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I said, we got time to get up and go, to get ready. Deborah was still asleep. So I laid there hurting because I didn't want to wake her up because I didn't want to go to church. So I laid there because I wanted to turn over because I done laid there in one spot for so long, I wanted to turn over. So finally she wakes up and I look over and say, oh my gosh, we overslept. So, and I think we did that for 2 Sundays. I think I got away with it for 2 Sundays. But eventually, we wound up going to church. They invited us to go to Valley View Baptist. So we started going to church there on Sunday morning. Well, after I got out of church, I'm going to play golf. And what I do when I play golf, I'm going to drink me some beer. So we out drinking and everything. Well, I drink while I'm playing golf. I can't go back and can't go to church that night. So anyhow, Deborah got big into the church. She was going Sunday morning, started going Sunday nights, I think on Wednesdays. So one Sunday night, she comes home, I'm at the house, and she walks in, she said, well, something happened tonight. I said, what was that? She said, I got saved.
Praise the Lord.
And I remember that day just like it was yesterday. I said, well, that's good. And at the exact same time I was saying that, I thought in my mind that things are fitting to change. So we continued the same routine, for a few more weeks. And like I said, I don't know, I can't remember the timetable exactly how it went and everything, but it went on. And so I started, well, she wound up, she was in the choir and she did all that stuff. And anyhow, one Sunday night, for some reason, I have no idea why, I cannot remember, we must not play golf that day, I don't know, it must have rained, I don't know, but I went to church that night. And I may have been a couple Sundays before that, I don't know, but I remember that particular Sunday night. I walked in Valley View Baptist Church, I cracked those doors, walked in, and God got all over me.
Amen.
And I'm talking about God on me. I teared up when I walked in that church. They ain't nobody said nothing. We ain't had preaching, we ain't sung a song, we ain't did nothing. And so I go up and I sit down on the far right they had chairs at the time. They hadn't even built a sanctuary at that time. I was on the second row on the far right chair. And I'm sitting there and I feel like I got my fist in my throat. And it wouldn't let up. It never let up. You know, sometimes, if you feel the spirit, sometimes you feel the spirit, it'll just kind of come and go away. No, this didn't let up. Never did let up. And of all nights, they decided to have a testimony service. And if anybody's ever went through a testimony service when people really stand up and telling what the Lord's done for them in their life, it'll tear you up. Even the Lord ain't dealing with you, it'll tear you up. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm in turmoil. I'm talking about it. I got to do something. I just feel like I got to do something. And this just kept on and dragging on. And I'm like, Lord, I was telling the Lord, I said, I cannot leave here feeling the way I feel. There's no way. During this testimony service, there's probably 300 people out, 400, I forgot. There's quite a few people there. And they're passing the microphone around, and I'm sitting here looking at the floor, so I have no idea where the microphone's at, because I don't want to look up, because there's people all around me, and I'm here crying, and they're going to think I'm crazy, so the microphone was passed around, and I'm thinking it's way back here somewhere. Well, like I said, Deborah's in the choir, and they passed that microphone to Deborah. I have no idea what she said. But as soon as I heard her voice, I lost it. I started bouncing, crying, and it's like I said, Lord, I cannot leave here the way I feel right now. We getting ready to have the altar call. And I said, Lord, as soon as the first note is played, I'm going to tell the preacher what I need. I'm standing up, they play the first note, I go to step, and I look at the preacher, and he turns around and goes to the altar. And I just like, Lord, what is he doing? And because I'm telling you, I've never felt nothing like this in my life. I mean, it's the worst sorrow feeling I've ever had in my life. Amen. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just looking at him. And I'm just like, Lord, I said, I've been to church for a long time, and I know what the protocol usually is on altar call, especially if nobody's coming. They're going to play 3 verses and it's over. And we go through the first one, we go through the second one, and I'm sitting there watching. We're on the 3rd verse, halfway through, and he ain't got up. So I said, about right at the end of that verse, he gets up and I come out, and I go to him, and I don't even know I couldn't even understand my own self, so I don't know how he knew what I said. All I understood myself say was saved. That's the only, I tried to say I need to be saved, but I don't even think it sounded like that. He takes me, and he gets me, I guess one of the deacons, I can't remember who this guy was either. But, so now I'm feeling a lot more relieved. And I'm back here and I'm talking to the deacon, and he's going over scripture with me, and he's not really into it. I guess he wants to go home, I don't know. But I'm sitting there, and he's telling me the scriptures, and I'm sitting there thinking, I said, I don't feel like I thought I was going to feel at the time. I thought I was going to feel like running through a wall. I mean, that's what I mean, because I got this burden off of me to where I felt like I was going to die. I mean, I actually felt like if I left that church that day, I would die. I sat there, and he went through the scriptures, and he prayed with me, and I walked out, and I was like, I didn't have the feeling I thought I was going to have. But once I walked out of that church, and I was in the car on the way home, I knew I did not drink anymore, and I did not cuss anymore. That was two things and I'm talking about, I was pretty good at both of them. I really was. I took pride in my drinking. At one time, I thought I called myself a power drinker. So, like I said, I took it as a challenge. Sometimes see how many I could drink. So, but I left there. I had a six-pack sitting in my refrigerator. When I got home, I left that six-pack in that refrigerator for 2 weeks because I wanted to prove to myself and anybody around me that wouldn't be no more. I was a total changed person.
Amen.
That night. I'm talking about totally changed. But the devil steps in and he says, you got, I'm trying to remember which verse. I had 2 verses. He gave me 2, we're not doing the verses. Anyhow, I can't remember. I wrote those verses down. I can't even get them right here. But he gave me 2 verses. Oh, I got it right here. No, it's not in. Anyhow, I'll tell you what he said. I tried to justify drinking. I went and opened my Bible. And I don't know why I tried to justify drinking, because I knew I left out of there. But the thing was in my mind, I was thinking, all my buddies, everybody I hang out with drinks. I said, what am I going to do now? So I opened my Bible, looked down, and it says, do not be drunk with wine, but be drunk in the Spirit. I went and found Deborah. I said, Deborah, I said, look, I just found this. I said, I just opened my Bible, and this is what the Lord spoke to me. In other words, like I said, I know I've got it written down, but I don't want to take all day looking for it, because I thought I wrote it down, but anyhow. I went, and I was, like I said, I was trying to say, Lord, I said, I'm not going to have any friends anymore. And he showed me a scripture by the same way. I opened the Bible up, and he showed me that night that he was my friend. And what he spoke to me, don't worry about the world. Don't worry about them. I'm your friend.
Amen.
I went and found Deborah. I said, Deborah, look at this. I said, I was just reading, and this is what he said. So, a little time passed, and I told some of y'all at the beginning that I mean, we got in, I wanted to do whatever God wanted me to do. I felt like I was, whatever it was, I didn't care. I mean, I went to work a few days after that, and the very words, this is no lie, I'm telling you, everybody, this is the truth, if I ever told the truth, the very words, the cuss words that I was saying a couple days earlier, someone said one of the cuss words behind me, and I looked at him like, what did you just say? That's what I dealt with me. I was like, that's how much it changed me. That's how much God changed me. And I went to work, and I was telling people, I said, I got saved. I said, I don't drink anymore. And there's people looking at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I said, I don't drink anymore. I had one guy say, well, if I ever see you with a beer in your hand, I'm going to slap it out. I'm going to slap it out of your hand. I said, man, do it. That's just kind of, that's people, they wouldn't believe it because they knew what kind of person it was. They said, there's no way. I know what they were thinking. There's no way in one day, but just seen you Friday, now we're back here Monday. And something happened over the weekend is going to change you that much. That's what they were thinking. That's what they were trying to tell me. But as time went on, like I told y'all, I was telling some of y'all earlier when I first got here, that I felt like the Lord was dealing with me to go and give my testimony. Now, when I got saved, it was, like I said, I got saved in 95. We got married in 94, April 9th of 94. I got saved June 4th of 95. So it wasn't long after that and everything. But like I said, we got into church, we went to church, and we moved to a couple other different churches, and the whole time I just felt like I was supposed to be doing something with God, And I went to Deborah one day, and I told her, I said, look, I think I'm being called to preach. I said, I don't know. I said, I'll be in the bed, and I'll just lay there, and I just think, and oh my gosh. I said, what do you want me to do, God? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And that's the only thing I could think. And so I kind of get my name out there to, told somebody, if y'all need somebody to speak, I'd like to come give my testimony or whatever. Well, that happened. I wound up going to Pine Flat Baptist Church. And then there was a church in Reform. My pastor, I was going to New Beginning Family Worship Center. And Pastor Randy Fuller told me, he said, if you feel like you want to speak to somebody over in Reform, they need somebody to come speak over there. So I went and spoke over there. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of pressure on you when you're doing something like this. Now, I mean, it's pressure. And you lose sleep and and blood pressure gets up. And, I mean, it's tough. But I went over there and spoke. I wound up going to Pleasant Hill Baptist Church speaking one time. I went to a place in Powell and spoke one time. Now, like I said, I'm not saying this to brag on myself, but what I'm saying, I just wanted to do something for God. I felt like there was something. I don't know. I just love God so much. I just want to do something for Him. Amen. But like I said, it got to the point to where I was almost having anxiety attacks. It seemed like, so I was like, man, I don't think God want me to have anxiety attacks. It was that much pressure on me. It felt like, cause when you get up here, you don't want to mess up. This is where you can mess up somewhere else, but you don't want to mess up in front of the church. When I say mess up, I'm talking about leading somebody in the wrong direction. I mean, things happen, but you don't want to. You want to tell what you know to be the truth in the Word. But anyhow, like I said, time once goes on. I'm making a short story long, but time went on. We get, as like I said, I saved in 1985. We were probably in the early 2000s now. Olivia was born in 2000. Stens was born in 2003, and I got so involved with them, and it took me a long time to kind of figure this out and everything, because it says to put God first. And I felt like I was. Don't put my family first. Don't put my wife first. Don't put my kids first, but put Him first. But when they come along, and I got so involved with them, and then they got old enough to play ball, and Olivia started playing travel ball from when she was 7 years old. Travel ball, when you play travel ball, if anybody don't know, winds up you playing on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So that's taken away from your church. Stinson got to play. I believe he played 3 or 4 or 5 years playing some travel ball. Also, so at one time they was both playing. We was going different ways. Plus we were playing ball at school, and we were just drug all over the place. And I just got away from God because I love them so much. And I've tried to explain to them that's my downfall, because I'm not supposed to love them more. And I'm just figuring that out, because if I put God first, they will learn to know God instead of me putting them first and then trying to tell them about God. Amen. Because when I put them first, I'm saying, God's the most important thing in our lives. I know we didn't go to church today. We over here at the ballpark. And I'm ashamed of it.
Where's the ball?
Like I said, it's taking longer than it should. I'm sorry. But the thing is, if they were to die, and I knew, if they would have died for me, especially, so that any of my family were to die before me, and I didn't know for a fact that they went to heaven, it would kill me. I don't know if I could live. I could live if they died and I knew they went to heaven. But it would hurt me so bad. And I got friends. That's another thing too. I've got friends, and there's been a few of them that's passed away. I'm not sure where they're at. I don't know. There's a lot of people that claim to be Christians. A lot.
I don't know if they truly are or not, and that's only between them and God. But I hope they did. I hope they made it. Because I had opportunities to say, let me tell you about the Lord. And I didn't take them because I was too involved with myself. So anyhow, like I said, we played ball for on up to, like I said, Olivia. She's graduating now. She's in Shelton playing ball now. She was able to get a scholarship to play ball. And since it's in the 10th grade, they'll be 19 and 16 in just a couple months. So the other day, like I said, this is how much time passed. I went for probably 10 years there for not serving God whatsoever. And sometime in early November, we went to church, and I left the church that day, and it's kind of like when I got saved, you know, it's like, you know, I wasn't really expecting anything to happen, but I call it drawing a line in the sand. That's what I felt like I did that day. I drew a line in the sand that day and said, I'm over, I'm done with this. And like I said, it wasn't nothing special happened, but I did it in my mind. I said, this is done. And I've did this before, and then I just go back doing the same thing, you know, whatever. It's like it's not like I ever turned back and went back to my old ways of drinking and cussing and all that stuff. I can take my kids right now, like I said, 19 and 16, you can ask them today, and they've never heard me say a cuss word and never seen me drink a drop of alcohol. I can say that, and that's one thing I'm so proud of, that, you know, that I was able to live up to that part at least. But the other day, like I said, I just made that decision, and with God, I felt God was in that too. And I was driving up the road the other day, going to work, and I don't care why I kind of cut the radio off. I usually leave the radio on, cut it on, but I don't care why I just cut the radio off and think and listen, and you know, hope God will speak to me, and I'll pray, or I even maybe put some gospel, not the gospel, but you go to YouTube and listen to the Bible. So I'm gonna put my earbuds in, I'll listen to the Bible sometimes going to work now, stuff like that. But anyhow, I felt like the Lord spoke to me, and this is the first time I've ever felt a thought in my life. I felt this thought coming to my head, and it come in right here. If that makes sense, like I said, this sounds crazy, and that makes sense. I'm telling you the honest truth, so I don't want nobody to think some of the stuff I say, I can tell you some stuff, other stuff, you know, I could just go on that it don't even sound right, but it says start a Bible study. I said, all right. So we've been trying to do a Bible study on Sundays around 4 or 5 o'clock. And it's pretty much, it's been 1 or 2 Sundays we ain't been able to do it, but that's something we've been trying to do. I said, Lord, if that's what you want me to do. And like I said, when God speaks to you, you can tell. It's a different thing. It's not me thinking. It's different. So we've been doing a Bible study at the house, and there's been a few people come by, and sometimes it's just us. But that's just, like I said, I felt like that's just something the Lord had laid on my heart. And this was another thing that happened. I was at work the other night. I actually went in early that night, and I listened to the book of Matthew. And I'm riding around on my bicycle. It's actually a tricycle. We call it a bicycle. It's got 3 wheels. I'm riding around it, and I'm checking tires. I work at Bill's Goodrich. And I'm riding around, and I'm listening. I'm kind of getting excited about what the word is saying. And I was like, because what the part he was talking about is Jesus and healing, and the disciples healing, and it was a lot about healing, what I was listening to at that moment. And I was like, Lord, I said, we should be able to do this today. I mean, this wasn't just set, to my understanding, this wasn't just set for the disciples, and when they died, it was over with. This was continuing on up to this day. And I'm like, I said, my gosh, I said, this ought to be, I said, we should be able to do this today. I said, you know, and a few days earlier, I've been, you know, I pray and I'll ask God, I said, God, you know, if there's something you want me to do, I said, just put it in front of me. I said, I'm not very bright. I said, put it in front of me. I said, give me the boldness to do it, and I'll do it. I'll try my best to do it. Well, like I said, I got excited about the word and everything here. I said, boy, I said, it ought to be like this today, God. I said, healing. I said, boy, that's good stuff. I said, and my friend Larry, which is sitting right here today, he comes riding up on what we call a tugger. He jumps off in, and he said, hey, Greg, I ain't seen you in a while. Now, me and Larry have never sat down and had a conversation in our life, really. We've spoke, we've talked a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. He works on a different shift. So we've probably talked 5-6 times in our life, probably, maybe. And most of them are just, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Stuff like that. Larry gets off and comes over and says, hey, Greg, how you doing, man? I ain't seen you in a while. I said, good, man, how you doing? He said, well, I just found out I had prostate cancer. I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah, and he started telling me about that and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh. And he told me, you know, he said, tell me it's not it's not an aggressive cancer, but it is cancer. They was gonna look at some more. He had to go back for some more tests and so on and so on. And so I said, okay. And they said, well, all right, Greg. He said, I gotta go. We started talking about 2 minutes. He said, I gotta go. He takes off. And right before he gets back on, I said, all right, Larry, I'm gonna be praying for you. And he drives off, and I turn around. And when I tell somebody that, I always say a little prayer out there, because I was scared I'll forget. I said, Lord, I said, just touch Larry. And about that time, the Lord spoke to me. He said, you just gonna let him drive off? Gosh. He said, you just gonna let him drive off? I just did this. I just dropped my head. Because I'm telling you, a minute before he drives up, I'm sitting there thinking about the healing and you know what Jesus said in the Bible, and then I said, how does this even happen? How many times have you ever had anybody drive up to you and say they got prostate cancer? Anything. Hey man, I got. So anyhow, I turn around, I walk down, look out the aisle, I don't see him. I said, dog. So I walk back, and I go over and look at my tires like I was gonna do, and I walk back out, and I'm looking back down the aisle, because he's usually riding up down the aisle, trucking, pulling tires back and forth from the machines and stuff. And so I see him way down there, and I said, okay, here he comes, and he turns around, goes back the other way. And this went on, and I'm like, then I go over here, I said, well, I have to go find him. And about this time, this other guy stops me. And I said, he starts talking to me, and I'm doing all I can do to even listen to what he even saying. I'm trying to look, I'm looking over his head, looking for Larry. And finally, he tells me whatever we're talking about. He just, talking about something. I get on the bicycle and I take off. And I see him down there again, but he's still a pretty good ways from me. I'm pedaling. So I finally catch up with him. He's just riding. He don't even know I'm behind him. And I started to holler at him, but I said, well, I don't want to holler at him because when I tell him what I got to tell him, they ain't gonna tell and me hollering at him too. I said, this might not be good. I said, so I finally catch up with him and get up beside him. I said, hey, Larry, I can't remember what I said, but I said, can we go back here and talk to me? I said, I want to talk to you about something. He said, oh yeah, sure, come on. So we drive back here kind of to a semi-secluded area. And I tried to explain to the man what I was doing. I said, look, and I'm trying to, and it's hard, man. I'm telling you, it's hard to explain this. I said, look, man, I was saved, years ago, and I start trying to give my testimony. I don't know what I'm doing, and because I don't even think I'm crazy, and just, because I'm thinking I'm crazy. So I finally tell him, I just feel like the Lord spoke to me to pray for you, and he starts telling me a little bit about his life and things that went on in his life. And so finally, it was funny, he's the one that said, because I guess I wouldn't shut up, he said, well, let's just go ahead and pray. So he puts his hand on me, and I say a prayer. And I back up and I said, man, that's I'm trying to tell him, I said, this was sincere now. I said, this ain't made up. I'm just telling you, this is sincere. Because I don't know what to say. And he said he told me that he couldn't wait to get home and tell his wife. Or he said he couldn't wait to tell your wife and everything. But I'm gonna ask Larry. I asked him earlier, would he come up and just say a little something about the situation and what's happened since then and all that. If you would, sir.
I would be blessed and happy to. Greg's right. We didn't. By the way, I'm Larry Holcomb. I'm a sinner saved by the grace of God through the blood of Jesus. I got saved in 1984 because of a professor at Auburn University that cared about the souls of college students. Greg was chasing me down on this bicycle, and I heard they got these little funny bells on them. Sounds like a cricket run through a synthesizer. And I thought, who in the world's honking at me? I turned around, it was Greg. And like I said, we didn't know each other much, and I was just so blessed to know that there's a man at B.F. Goodrich brings his faith to work with him.
Amen.
Not just brings it to work with him, but exercises it, and had the boldness to reach out to me that night and to come in and want to share a testimony with me and to pray with me. And I texted my wife later. I said, I've got the most amazing thing to tell you when I get home, because B.F. Goodrich at times seems like a godless place. And there are times there I have to watch what I'm doing, because I know that sometimes God is not happy with me at times when I get frustrated or upset or angry. But the fact that he prayed for me that night touched me deeply.
Amen.
November 1st, I had a procedure done to, most of you men who are 50 over know sometimes your prostate has trouble. You have to have it reduced in size, and I had that little procedure done. And 7 days later, I got a phone call from the doctor's office, and it wasn't a very compassionate call. All they said was, Mr. Holcomb, we need to get you in here earlier than your schedule, because we have found that you have prostate cancer. And that's about all they told me. And I had a good comfort. I called my wife crying, honey, I've got cancer, you need to come home. I called my brothers, and I was scared to death. And over the next few weeks, it kind of sunk in. They told me it's not real aggressive. It's not going to spread fast, but we need to find out more about it. So I transferred all my records to UAB. And a few weeks later, I had to have a biopsy. And they do a biopsy of this gland with 12 needles. And it goes all through there looking for, they take samples of it. Cindy, what was it, about a week ago? Thursday? You get a call from UAB. And I'm expecting to hear that, the cancer we found was about the same grade as we found in the original procedure. And they told me we're just gonna watch it for a while. But here's what they told me. They said all of your biopsies are benign.
Praise God.
They said, they could not find cancer with 12 biopsies. Do I still have cancer? I don't know. God may heal me from it. But I do know that if I do have cancer, I know whatever road that God walks me down, I'm going to be walking with Him.
Amen.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths.
Yeah.
So whether it's the path of cancer or illness or a loved one who is sick or may die, or whether it's the path He's going to lead me down one day to the grave, I can go there without fear. I can go there without trepidation. I can go there without worry. I can go there without anxiety. And I know you had some anxiety today, but God is good. And I'm grateful that I have a friend now that I know I'm going to get to know better at work. And not only is he a friend, he's a brother in Christ. That means a lot when you're in a place like B.F. Goodrich, because sometimes you feel like God's not there, but I know He is, and He was there that night.
What I didn't tell Larry after I left there, after we prayed that night, and like I said, what he just said and everything, I'm not taking credit for anything. I think that's how God's supposed to work with everybody. I mean, that's the way it works. I mean, if we will, I feel like if we clean ourselves up, and that's what I've been trying to do for the last 2 months, is to let God clean me up and say, look, we got to get rid of this junk now, and let me put some of myself in you. That way we can do stuff like this.
Yeah.
I didn't tell Larry when he left, he drove off, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm standing, I don't even know what to do. I'm walking around, and I go get on a bicycle, and I just aimlessly ride up the aisle, and I'm like, what did we just do? Because that ain't natural. I mean, as far as the flesh, that's not natural.
That's right, isn't it?
I said, I've been checking my blood pressure up in the dispensary every so often. We got a little thing, we go up there and check the blood pressure and everything. I said, I try to check it 2 or 3 times a week. I said, I'm gonna ride up and check my blood pressure. I don't know, I'm like I said, I didn't forget about work. I'm just aimlessly riding now. I go up there, I check my blood pressure. That's the highest my blood pressure ever been in my life. It was 180 something over 90 something. I was like, good gracious. I took it all, I put it back in. I said, let me do this again. It was 170 something over the next time I did. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, because I'm telling you that, you know, that wasn't natural right there. And that took a lot of, that was, like I said, the anxiety and the pressure it put on me, I guess is what you're saying and everything. But, I knew one other thing about Larry. I was gonna say, he's supposed to be at work today. I texted him. Actually, I texted him Thursday night right after he found out about that. I ain't talked to Larry since I prayed for him, except one time in the aisle. I think at Goodrich or something. Just spoke to him, and I almost didn't even text you. I almost didn't even, text, because I looked at your calendar. I said, well, he's got to work this weekend. I said, he can't come down to the church. I said, well, I'm gonna invite him anyhow. I said, he may, work out something. Because how long you been at Goodrich?
Almost a year.
About almost a year. So he ain't got very much vacation. So I know he ain't got none right now, because we don't get our vacation until February, and it's the middle of January or beginning of January. But he had 2 floater holidays. He said, and that's what he texted back. He said, I have 2 floater holidays. I was already taking the weekend off. I'll be there. I was like, good gracious. Is this not good? I was like, my gosh. But anyhow, I'm gonna try to wrap this thing up. Like I said, I feel like I've been up here a long time, and I know y'all think the same thing. But I just wrote down a few little things, and I said, why am I doing this? And I'm gonna put these glasses on. Like I said, this is Deborah's glasses, so I'm gonna put these on. In Mark 12, 30 and 31, it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. And how do you love somebody with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength? I mean, that's one thing. I mean, especially God. I mean, like my wife, I could go and hug her right now and just kiss all over and tell her how much I love her. God, I mean, I can't hug God. I can't even see you, God. So my thing is, what am I supposed to do to love you as much as you say love you with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength. I mean, that's everything I've got. I gotta love you, God, with that. So how do I do that? And I'm gonna one more scripture. In James, I'm going to turn to this because I ain't got this one down, or y'all can turn to it. James 2, 14 through 24. It says, what does it profit, my brother, if someone says he has faith, but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute, I had to figure out what destitute meant. It means lacking of daily food. And one of you says to them, depart in peace, be warmed and filled, but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body. What does it profit? Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that there is one God, you do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? Was it not Abraham, our father, justified by works when he offered Isaac, his son, on the altar? Do you see that faith is working together with his works, and by works faith has been perfected, has been perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled, which says, Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. You see then that a man is justified by works and not by faith only. Now, the reason I read that right there, we're saved by faith and confessing with our mouth. We have faith in God. That's why we're saved. So, he tells us to love him with all our strength, our heart, mind, soul, body. We got to love him with that. So through our faith, I feel like that's how we got to love him. But I can just say, I have faith in you, God, and just stand here and do nothing. I can sit here, we'll come to church, or just sit at the house, or whatever, you know. Lord, I love you. That's what God, I don't feel like that's what God wants. If you love me, you will do stuff for me. If I love my wife, I'll go fix her a cup of coffee. I will do stuff for her. I will get her the things that she wants. I know I'm not the best, but I try. And this analogy come to me and everything. I mean, tomorrow night when Alabama plays Clemson, is Nick Saban gonna say, hey, that number 23 standing on Clemson's sideline right there, y'all make sure he's gonna score? Well, he's not coming in the game, coach. It don't matter, make sure he's gonna score. That guy ain't gonna do nothing. That guy on the sideline is not gonna do one thing. So why are we trying to guard him? I feel like that's what Satan is saying. Hey, that man ain't doing nothing. We ain't worried about him. We got to get these guys over here doing something.
Yeah.
Satan, I mean, that's what I want to be in the game. That makes sense. I help Mr. Ron, Coach, Principal Coach Garner right here. Coach Little League football for a long time. There ain't nobody on the sideline scored yet.
No.
There ain't nobody on the sideline done anything. And I got tired of sitting on the sideline.
Amen.
So my thing was, if I'm going to get in the game, I got to get out and start doing something. I want to make it count. I don't want to, like I said, I'm afraid. I'm so afraid. And maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. I'm afraid somebody's going, that I know, that I love, that I care about, is not going to understand that I could have told there is a God that loves you. There is a heaven that you can go to. All you have to do is accept Jesus into your life. But if you don't, you're going to a place that you would rather, you think about the worst day that you've ever had in your life, the worst day, and you would rather relive that worst day than go and spend eternity in hell.
That's right. Amen.
You'd rather spend eternity living that worst day you had on earth. It could be the worst sickness, the worst whatever, and you would rather relive that than go and spend your eternity in hell. I honestly believe that. So, like I said, most thing, the biggest thing I guess I wanted anybody to get out of this was, the reason I'm doing this, I'm getting out off the sideline and getting in the game. I want to go back to talking to people at work and telling people about Jesus and everything. I was doing this at one time and I got completely away from it. And this is one of my first steps to saying, hey, I'm done with that. And I've got to make up for lost time. And I got family and friends, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to heaven. I don't know if they're going to hell. I don't know. But I want to give them every opportunity to accept the Lord. Now, that's all I got. We can have an altar call if you want to sing a song or whatever. But like I said, this ain't got nothing to do with me, and that's what that's the thing I was afraid. And Satan's gonna tell you everything, and people's gonna think whatever. It don't have nothing to do with me. It don't have one thing to do with me. It's all about him. And I'm telling you, I don't want to lay in the bed thinking about what I'm gonna say. And I'm telling you, I wish that somebody checked my blood pressure about 5 minutes before I walked up here. I could almost feel my shirt moving. It don't have anything to me, but it does have something to do with him.
Thine own way, Lord, thine own way. I don't know this morning where you're at in your life. But I tell you, if you don't have Jesus this morning, you need him more than anything. Jesus is the only way to heaven. You know, this song says, have thine own way, Lord. This morning, if you have a need, the Lord wants you to come where he can have his own way. You say, I'm in a strange place this morning. I've never been here before. You know what? The church I got saved in, I've never been there before that night either. This morning, you may be holding on to a pew. You know what you need to do? You need to let go. Then you know what you need to do after that? You need to take a step. See, God is not going to take that first step for you. But if you'll take that step, He's going to come the rest of the way with you. And there's people here this morning that will pray for you and help you. As we sing this second verse, come to Jesus this morning if you have a need, regardless of that need.